Alright, this is my first YouTube video, so I figured I'd do a video of the collection. So we're just gonna hop into it. I'm not gonna go by brand, I'm just gonna go by what order they're in, and I'll try to show all of it. So this is my brother's kept it at original. It's a 1962. We just need to finish rebuilding the engine in it and then grab a drive shaft for it, and then it'll be good to go. I'm not sure if we're gonna repaint it yet. It's kind of ugly. It's like a puke yellow and blue, but a lot of people say they like the color combo, so we may leave it. 1966, 856. If anyone's curious about these, the numbers on the side, 856, the 8 will stand for the horsepower, so it's an 8 horsepower. The 5, I believe, is for the series transmission, so it's a 5 series transmission, which in this is a 4-speed, and then 6 is the gear. And they only use that style coding system in the 60s, and it ran up to like 1968, and then they stopped using that. So it's just the last digit is whatever digit of the 60s it's in. So this is an 856, so 1966, 8 horsepower Kohler, like I said, 4-speed transmission. Good little tractor. It's got the tires off of that one on it because the original ones for this blue, and yeah, it looks better with these on these parts tires. This is a 1969 Wheelhorse Workhorse 700. Both these were restored, or at least started to be restored 10 years ago. This one was finished, this one wasn't, because it had one of those cheap Tecumsehs on them. I don't really like them, they're hard to keep running. And since then, this one's had a bunch of different engines on it. Hopefully this year we're gonna finally get a K-Series pull start Kohler on it, and then we'll get decals and better front tires for it, and finally get that finished. But yeah, it's not totally finished yet. This is a 1973 Wheelhorse 12. It's an 8-speed, so it's got the 12 horse Kohler, and an 8-speed transmission, obviously. This one had some valve issues, and now it's running really rough. So basically, it ground up one of the keepers in the valve breather chamber and got metal in the oil. So we're probably gonna end up looking for a new motor for this soon. But the lights and everything work really well. We spray painted the headlight bezel silver and stuff, and it ran really well. It was a plow tractor, and it did really good, but then the engine just started having issues, so that's probably gonna be the next thing to do on this. That's a 1973, like I said, 12 8-speed, and then we have a twin to this, 1973 10 automatic, and I'll show that here at the end. Then over here we have the Allis-Chalmers. This one is my 710. So 700 series, 10 horse. It's either 1973 or 1974. Standard 4-speed transmission. Just a nice little tractor. It's missing the lift and stuff, so it's more of just a show tractor. I also forgot to mention all of the machines that I own. If they're good enough, I don't repaint them, and what I'll do is I'll wet sand, Scotch pad, and then clear coat them. This one's a little dusty, so you can't see it well, but it has had clear coat on it just to kind of preserve it. But it's a nice little tractor. It's got the earlier grill in it that I like. And then this one I just picked up a month ago, I'd say. It's a Allis-Chalmers 716 Hydro. It's got the newer style front end. The headlights don't work in it. Got it supposedly running. It was not running. It took a ton of work to get running, but it's kind of appropriate, the exhaust system it's got on it. The old one rotted out, so he straight piped it, and it's pretty much a smokestack. This thing just pumps smoke out. It has, I mean, the rings in it are non-existent pretty much, so you're gonna see videos coming out on this soon, hopefully. When I get rings in it, that'll be in the next few weeks, and by then I'll hopefully have it back together and running. The seat on it is totally shot, so I got this front that I'm going to be putting on it, but I'm waiting to do that until I'm done getting it all good and running. The deck on it's got to be like a 54-inch or something. I'll come back here. You see how wide it is. It is a massive deck, but no, 16 horse Kohler, hydrostat drive. I've had it running, driving, and mowing. It mows all right. I need to work on some stuff with the deck hangers. The engine has a lot of power, surprisingly, even how worn out it is. So I'm hoping once I get a new exhaust system on it and then figure out the rings and stuff, it'll be a really nice, powerful tractor. It's not the original tires on it. It's got Goodyears in the back and this weird Dinkos in the front. I'd like to get tri-ribs in the front for it eventually, because I like the look of rib tires in the front rather than the Ags. But so that's all for over here. I'm gonna come around here. This tractor I didn't really bother pulling out because it's my friend's. It's not mine. I'm working on it for him. Basically, the story is his family bought 2 Cub Cadet originals, brand new. Both are 1961s. I'm not sure if the serial codes on them are similar or not. This door won't stop creaking, I'm sorry. Anyways, between the time that he owned it and his family owned it, someone else owned it, and that person used this one as a parts tractor for the other one. So what we started with was no tires, no rims, C steering system. We had a frame, a hood, the grill, the outer grill, no grill screen. The grill screen in it's mine, and then the dash and a shot steering shaft, and then the transmission, of course. Since then, we've got it fully rolling and everything. These are just some junk tires and rims I had from another one, and hopefully we'll be getting them replaced because there's rot holes all around these rims. But we got a new steering shaft in it. We freed up the front spindles. It's got one of my motors sitting in it, so we're going to try and get it going with that, and then we'll work on his engine, because all that's left of it is the block. It's got no head or anything. It was left outside for years in the rain, so it's going to take a lot to get going, but we're just going to do that after we see it running with this one. And then over here, that thing I'm not going to talk about much. It's a Lawson powered little thing. It runs crappy, drives crappy. We're going to be selling it soon. This is my Cub original. It's got, when I got it, had a C's transmission and a ripped frame. It was going to be the parts tractor for the parts tractor over there that we're working on, but I recently got the transmission unseized. So I'm going to get the frame welded, and then hopefully we're going to get it going. I forgot to mention too, or I think I forgot to mention, this is a 1961, but it's also 4-digit, so it's kind of an uncommon one, which makes that cool. This one's a 1963, so it's not that uncommon. That's why we're just kind of putting off working on it. This is my brother's John Deere 70. I bought it a couple years back. It has a Tecumseh in it, of course. I don't like Tecumsehs. They don't like to run, and I never could get it running, so I sold it to him, and now it's just sat here because he can't get it to do much either. Then we got these 2 walk-behind tractors. This is my brother's Boland's Husky Gardner from the 30s or 40s. It has an AB model Wisconsin. It's solid cast iron. The actual frame of the walk-behind tractor, it probably weighs 400 pounds. And then on top of that, the factory had calcium-filled wheels. I don't know why they needed that much weight on top of how much this weighed, but they did apparently. So it's a pain to move around, but it's really cool. I think we paid like 15 bucks for it, but the engine's really rough. It's got a stripped out spark plug hole and a bunch of other things. No carb. And this is my little Sears 1930s brass tag. For the wheels on it, these hubs are pretty much impossible to find, so I'm going to find some other wheels that are roughly the same diameter and cut these ones off, and then cut the inner rim out of the other ones I get, and then weld the outer wheel on to these spokes, and that way I can choose what size wheel I want, so I can buy tires cheaper and stuff. I still have the original motor for it. I just need to throw it back together and stuff. Really simple machines. I just don't have the time for it with all the other stuff I'm working on, so it's sat here. This one I just bought to resell. It's 60s or 70s snapper. Everyone's seen them. I paid like 25 bucks for it and got it running later that day, and I mow with it every once in a while, but I've got a friend that may be buying it. If not, it's gonna be on Marketplace soon. unless I decide to do something else with it. And then we come in here. I got 2 more tractors. I'm only gonna show one of them because one of them's one of those Wizard Western Auto things, and it doesn't run, and it's got a Predator engine in it, and they're just not that interesting, honestly. So this is a twin to that 12. We just picked this one up a week ago. I've already wet sanded and clear coated the whole thing, so it looks really good. It was totally green with moss. Farmer had this sitting out in a field with a bunch of junk 4-wheelers. I'm talking like frames and a couple blown transmissions. And this was one day away from getting hauled off to scrap, so we went up there and pulled it off a scrap trailer. It was already loaded up and everything, and brought it home. All the wiring was hanging out the side. The wiring's totally destroyed, but I have heard it run. I've driven it for maybe 30 seconds. But yeah, I just need to figure out the wiring on it, and then it'll be a good show tractor and hopefully plow tractor. It's got one of these nice rare cast iron sleeve hitches on the back, but it's a 10 horsepower automatic, so it's got the hydrostatic drive, and it'll be a really nice tractor, I think, once we get it running. But yeah, so that's most of the collection. I don't know if I said or not. I probably did. Alice Chalmers 7.6 thing. I will be having videos come out on it here in a few weeks when I get rings in it. And I'll hopefully have it all back together and driving by then. If not, it's because another project came up. I'll probably have it done after that. But if you guys want any videos specific to one of these tractors, or want to see something on one of these tractors, or just curious about something, comment it so I can go make a video on it. I don't know how long it'll take me to get around to making a video on it, because some of these sit in the shed for months without being pulled out. It won't take that long, but it may be a week or so before I get a video uploaded in response. Yeah, if you guys want videos on any of these tractors in particular, I can go over them in a bit more detail. Yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and make a video. So stay tuned for videos on that coming out in hopefully a month, if everything goes to plan. If not, I'll have update videos on it too, if, like, you know, something's wrong with the engine. So I guess with that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off.